Good day, it's February 25th, 2026. We're discussing farm attacks and farm murders for January 2026. And as you can see on the screen, 12 attacks, 2 murders. For the same period last year, 2025, January, 22 attacks, 2 murders. The dissection of the weaponry, blunt object, there was 0, sharp object, 4 of the cases. Firearms were used in 3 cases. Multiple armament was, that is farm attacks and sharp object. There were 1 case, and then unknown 3 cases, and then there was 1 case of a kidnapping as well. Apologies once again for the lateness of this production, but I think also perfect timing because I am aware of the production by Cooper Anderson that is trying to debunk farm attacks and farm murders in South Africa into a myth. Now, there are people working on that, so I'm not going to waste time on that. Let's have a look at the provincial figures before we continue to the cases. As you can see there on the screen, January 2026, 12 attacks, 2 murders, and those are spread across Gauteng, 5 attacks, Northwest Province and Limpopo Province, nothing to report there. Mpumalanga, 3 attacks, Free State Province, 2 attacks, and then KwaZulu-Natal, 1 attack, 1 murder, and then the Eastern Cape also the same, 1 attack and 1 murder. For the Western Cape, Northern Cape, and Namibia, there was nothing to report for January 2026. Let's have a look at the cases. We're starting off with Gauteng West, which is more or less the Kameelrift West area. That is the area to the west of Pretoria, the capital, where on the 23rd of January at plot 231 in Lillian Street, a pensioner was held at gunpoint and robbed. 1 shot was fired, but nobody was injured. Also on the 30th of January at plot number 244 on Horns Neck Road, the perpetrators cut the fence and broke into a container. The shop owner was forced to open the shop and a variety of items were taken. Suspects wore gloves and balaclavas, but weapons could not be confirmed in this case. We move over to Gauteng North, where there were 3 attacks. The first one was on January the 7th. An armed robbery went down. The number of perpetrators and the armament used by the perpetrators could not be determined or confirmed. The victims' wallets and cell phones were taken before the perpetrators fled. Thereafter, the victims called services to attend to the specific case. Then on the 14th at Hakdoorndraai at Pretoria North, the victim was asleep when the perpetrators armed with machetes broke down the door, forced entry into the house, and threatened to kill him before demanding cell phones. 3 cell phones valued at 1,820 South African rand were taken before the perpetrators fled. The third case is got a slight twist to it. The 78-year-old woman lived alone after the death of her husband. The perpetrators breached the house early evening, telling her to keep quiet. They treated her with dignity and even gave her a blanket to comfort her. They proceeded to remove electrical equipment. On the way out, they also took down the cameras, and she was only able to get help the next morning as they also took her cell phone. Her children had previously warned her that the area was not safe, and that was after several incidents close to her property in 2025. In Mpumalanga, there were 3 attacks, and 2 of these attacks were in the area immediately to the west of the coal mining city of Witbank. That area is one big squatter camp at the moment, where previous years it used to be Veld and Wattle Forest. The first one of the attacks was January 16th at Bullpond section K51. The complainant and his colleagues were busy in the kitchen when they were attacked by 4 armed suspects. They were told to lie on the floor, where they were searched and their cell phones taken from them. The suspects spoke in the Bele, which is a Zimbabwean language that gives you an idea of the nationality of these attackers. They also knew the employer of the victims, a guy called Kuma, and told him that they were there to collect the sheep. 4 pickup trucks and about 18 suspects were observed going into the kraal and loading the sheep. Some of the sheep ran off and was later recovered. The complainant specifically was told to return to KwaZulu-Natal before he was killed. The perpetrators fled the scene after breaking the cameras. The victims untied themselves and went to look for assistance. The stock value was estimated at 102,000 South African rand. The second one was close enough to that one. That was at Bulpond. That was on January the 16th, 2 days later. The victim woke up at around 10 o'clock in the evening when he saw lights. He went outside to investigate, and he had heard 2 loud bangs, and then his door was kicked open by 3 intruders. One had a firearm, and the victim's hands and feet were bound before the room was searched. Suspects went to another room where 2 other victims were sleeping. They were also tied up, and the firearm was pointed at them. The place was searched, and 2 cell phones were taken. They took an axe and a panga and threatened to slaughter a cow. The cow was killed, but the remains of the cow wasn't taken with them. The third one was a bit to the north of the same town of Witbank on January the 30th at Zaaihoek. The shepherd was asleep when 7 perpetrators armed with firearms and knives wearing balaclavas breached the dwelling. He woke up, but he was tied and robbed of his cell phones. The suspects went outside, and you could hear them loading stock. 12 sheep were stolen in this case. There were 2 attacks in the Free State. The first one was on January 15th near the town of Bultfontein, where a 72-year-old woman stayed and farmed alone. She was overcome in her house and assaulted, and thereafter locked into the boot of her car before the perpetrators drove off with the car toward Bultfontein. On the way there, near Zuidpan, the vehicle broke down, and the perpetrators abandoned the vehicle with the victim still in the boot. She was stuck in the car for almost a full day before she was rescued. A policeman on his way to work saw the car next to the road, but he continued to work, and that afternoon at around 5 o'clock, returning from his beat, he noticed the car still next to the road and decided to investigate. The woman heard the approaching footsteps, and she called out for help. She was rescued. She was extremely traumatized and dehydrated, and she had been in the car for almost 32 hours. The second attack was in the Klokkelaan area, where the 56-year-old victim arrived home and checked his vehicle for a possible flat tire when he was suddenly ambushed by 3 perpetrators. He was assaulted and dragged into the house, where the perpetrators demanded money. After giving them money, he was stabbed in the hand and told to open the safe, where they took a baby Browning pistol, a revolver and a shotgun. Perpetrators fled in his BMW, which was later found abandoned. He managed to untie himself and reach out to a farm worker for help, after which he was taken for treatment. No arrests have been made in this case. KwaZulu-Natal, only 1 attack, and one of the victims in this attack was also passed away, which registered that as a farm murder. That was on January the 30th at the Norwood Sugar Estate in the KwaZulu-Natal, where a single attacker breached the house in the early morning. One of the occupants were woken up by the scream of a family member. The braver male attacker, armed with a knife, pulled one woman from her room and tied her, a sister, and the domestic worker with T-shirts. They were instructed to lie on the floor while being threatened with a knife. The attacker demanded the keys to the safe, taking several firearms before fleeing. The women managed to free themselves before rushing to the lounge and finding the son of one of the women and her brother with multiple stab wounds each. Both were admitted to hospital for emergency treatment, but sadly, one male victim, Aman Singh, passed away on Tuesday, February the 2nd, 2026. Eastern Cape, also 1 attack, 1 murder. That was on January 26 near the town of Humansdorp. The police were called out to the scene of a house robbery on the R102 outside of Humansdorp. When they arrived on the scene, they discovered the lifeless body of a 60-year-old man with open wounds to his torso. He was later identified as 65-year-old Dion de Tooy, a retired mechanical engineer. He apparently built boats and was divorced and staying alone. No arrests have been made in this case. That's all from me, Klaas Prinsloo, talking to you from South Africa with regards to farm attacks and farm murders for January 2026. I've been doing these videos since June 2023. There's a monthly video covering all farm attacks and farm murders for any specific month since June 2023. And if there's any doubt still, I think these videos create sufficient portfolio of evidence that farm attacks and farm murders in South Africa are real. So you are welcome to contact me if you want to. I'll leave my contact details in the description box. Please distribute these videos to relevant organizations, authorities, interested groups, so that the plight of people living in rural areas in South Africa can be made known, and the people who is trying to mythify farm attacks and farm murders in South Africa be brought onto the right track. I thank you very much for listening, for those who are supporting me on this channel. It's not always easy, but I appreciate each and every one watching this video, distributing this video, and getting this word around. Thank you so much.